Hope everyone's doing good out there. It is Friday evening here in South Texas. I'm drinking me some Wild Turkey 101 bourbon. We had a storm just blow through. I've come to the conclusion that these flat stems, whatever they're called, I don't know, they really fit my needs, my utilitarian needs, especially at work or when I'm driving. It's easier for me to clench these. I've really fallen in love with these flat stems, so I think kind of as a habit now when I'm shopping for pipes, I will be looking for these. It's not necessary if I'm at home, but I do find that I've been clenching more and more in my pipe tobacco journey, and that those are easier to clench. I'm smoking some Peterson Deluxe Navy rolls. We've got Brazilian and African Virginia. I think it's a red Virginia with a Louisiana Perique. I've smoked this about half a dozen times, and I think I've already kind of drawn my conclusions, and come to a full consensus concerning the once Dunhill, from my understanding. It used to be a Dunhill blend, now Peterson. That pinky's important now. You gotta get that pinky out. It starts off strong. It's in the sense that it's smooth. It's smooth, and then what inevitably happens around the last half of the smoke is it gets rancid almost. And I'm thinking some serious age would potentially fix that problem. Someone's just now pulling up. I don't know, man. It starts off kind of smooth and balanced, and then lo and behold, I'd say halfway down to the heel, it turns rancid. I just feel like it needs way more age on it. 4 to 6 years would probably help. So like I said, I've smoked this half a dozen times. I've already shuffled around some blends that I didn't really like that much, and I don't want to do that. I want to review everything regardless of if I love it or hate it. I'll bet you with some decent age, my problems will be resolved. I think what's happening is the Virginias are just too young. They need some age on it. My cadence tends to be pretty fast, pretty heavy. My first attempt at making this video, it went south because I was actually moody. I started whining about life. I ditched it. I deleted it. I'm like, I'm not going to upload that. But I was doing a lot of talking, and I noticed it didn't get quite as bad. If I'm not going hot and heavy, it doesn't get quite as rancid. I don't know how to explain it. Acrid, rancid, something. But it... if I can't smoke a tobacco the way I want to smoke, it has to be pretty amazing. It has to have some major offerings for me to adapt to be subservient to its needs, is what I'm trying to say here. Because I like tobaccos. I can go light and slow and sip and hot and heavy. And the 3 tobaccos I'm looking for are those I like directly out of the tin, those I like directly out of the tin, and I like with age. I almost want to say if I like something out of the tin, even if age takes a little bit away from it, which I guess is possible. Age can make things better, but it can make things worse, setting aside aromatics. I still think I'm going to like those. I'm talking about particularly like something like this, or the luxury twist flake. I could enjoy it right out of the bag, but it really took the better part of 6 years for those Virginias to calm down in a way where I can enjoy it more. It's not an amazing Virginia, but I certainly do appreciate its unique signature, and I enjoy it for what it offers. Now that it actually has some real age on it, it's helped a lot, considerably. I'll bet you it'll be the same way with this. And this is what I love about this journey. So I've smoked this half a dozen times. I'm going to put 4 to 6 years on it. I'm not going to open the jar anymore, and then I'll return to it. If it blows my socks off, I'll buy some more. If it's just meh after 4 to 6 years, then no. There's too many other tobaccos that I don't have to sit back, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm okay putting in the time and attempting to sell her something long just to see if maybe it turns into some type of, some type of amazing blend, having given it time to calm down and ferment and do its thing. Now see, that was a decent little draw there. Had I not set it down for that long and rambled, it would have become more and more rancid. That's what I'm finding with this. So I'd love to hear y'all's input on this. The jar itself has the tin itself came with 8 months of age on it. Okay, that's it. That's important. I want y'all to know how old it is, because that could change things quite a bit. If I sip it, I enjoy it to a degree. It calms down if I'm light with it. If I push in soft like, she's a little nicer. But, again, it's like when you're buying an automobile. You just want the thing to work. You want it to drive. If I got to stomp on the brakes and punch the steering wheel a few times and it starts driving pretty good, I don't know that I'm going to buy that car. That was a horrible analogy. Horrible analogies is what I do. I think this has a tendency to be a bit bitey if you're not careful. Comes in on the tongue pretty sour, pungent. Often it comes in super tart. I'm not noticing it so much this time. Could be because of this. The tartness doesn't seem to be coming through this time. Maybe I need to smoke more, or maybe I waited too long. Anywho, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick upload on a few blends I've already smoked that I may not want to smoke again to do a review on, that I didn't like, just to put it out there. I classify all this underneath a review playlist. So if someone were to go through the playlist, they could at least be like, oh, okay, he liked those and didn't like those. I don't know. It may serve a purpose somewhere down the road. It does for me. Like I said, I hop on Beans 316 review playlist and I just watch it for hours. I've done that before. So, it's worth organizing your reviews, and, it could benefit someone. And it's all subjective, but still. I've almost gotten to the point, though, where in the beginning I needed some direction. But now that I kind of know what I like a lot of Englishes. I like a lot of Vapors. I like a lot of Virginias. Those are my, I'm completely fine with anything heavy Oriental or Latakia. A lot of people have problems with those things. So I don't really need direction anymore. I just pretty much buy something and try it out. I almost prefer developing my own opinion prior to listening to someone else's review on it. The power of suggestion can have a lot of sway on you, even if you think it doesn't. Yeah, when I sit down and smoke this, I'm usually pretty steady. I have a steady cadence. This is much nicer. I still think it's problematic for my needs. I do think it gets rancid. I do think it needs a real age on it. But this is probably the slowest I've ever smoked it, and it does benefit. I'm over halfway down. So typically the halfway mark all the way to the heel gets pretty kind of nasty, pretty rancid. If I set it down occasionally, it gives it time to cool down. I guess it's just what happens with the way the heat is interacting with the moisture content, and perhaps how young those Virginias are, and the moisture coming off of it, it just turns rancid if it gets too hot. And I suppose that's what's happening. Now that I'm pacing myself with this review, and I'm spending a lot of time running my yapper. Of course, I'm also pairing it with, so I came out here not expecting this to happen, because now that I'm pairing it with some bourbon, because I've already developed an opinion about this. I think it needs more age, it gets rancid. But I'm not entirely sure. Sorry for throwing this curveball in. This could have something to do with what's going on today too. Just what it's doing to my palate. It could be calming some of that those rancid elements that are bothering me when I get halfway down. See, I'm tasting that rancid. It's like it just, to me, it's like a young cigar. It needs age. That's all that I have coming through. Like, it has all this potential, and yet it just, to me, it's coming off like it's not ready. So I think a lot of people love this blend. This used to be a Dunhill blend, and I think it has a lot of, I don't know, I haven't looked at tobacco reviews. I just read the description, you know, okay, it's got some Perique, you got your Brazilian, African, Red Virginias, yada, yada, Louisiana Perique. Used to be Dunhill. So I think it's probably an old fan favorite if I had to guess. So you all tell me, have y'all smoked this and it not had a lot of age on it, and you typically buy it and let it ferment a little while before smoking it? What's up? Am I stupid and is this amazing and I just am a horrible reviewer? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Thing is, man, I like a pretty steady cadence. That's how I enjoy smoking pipe tobacco. So if I can't do that, then it's a problem. Pretty much how I feel about it. Anyways, I bought some baby back ribs, and I thought I was gonna do it today, and then the more I thought about it, it's like, man, I really do not feel like dragging out my pellet grill and going through all the cleanup and all the this and all the that. So I'm gonna cook some baby back ribs. I don't know if I'm gonna do oven baby back ribs or if I'm just gonna drag my pellet grill out here and do some pellet grill baby back ribs. I long for the day where I'm in my own backyard or patio, and I have an offset stick burner, and I'm doing brisket, and I'm doing baby back ribs and Boston butts, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna have to learn it now. But I like tending the coal bed. I mean, even out here with the pellet grill, there's nothing to really tend. I like smelling the smoke and being around it. The problem is I have an association with barbecue where I drink. And lo and behold, what always happens is I start cooking early on an empty stomach and I'm like half drunk. I don't know. It took me, it's night and day different cooking in my little Traeger Ranger, because it's a compact, portable, I mean, it's heavy, but it's a compact, it's like a tailgater basically. But for being a tailgater, it cooks really well, and the hopper's full size, and you can do it's got cool functionality on it, you know. The casing, the body, the metal flashing is so close, it's so compact that the radiating heat that's coming down on your food from inside this very small, I don't know how many cubic feet, whatever it has in it, whatever you call it. 250 degrees Fahrenheit in that is way different than 250 degrees Fahrenheit in a big full-size pit, because like I said, the radiating heat is just bouncing. It's that far from, you know, it's that far from the top of the damn metal flashing that is holding in the heat. And also it has air, it has a motor, a blower in there that circulates the heat in the air and the pellet smoke, and it can dry your food out. It's fine if you spritz it, but cooking on that versus the way I used to always do baby back ribs was on just a charcoal. I used to have one of those charcoal cylinder, had little tiny feet. I'd have to kneel down or bend down, and I put my coal bit on one side and my baby backs on the other side, and you could slow cook the hell out all night. And I don't like it to where it's completely falling off the bone or nothing like that. You know, I like it to stay on the bone but come off pretty easy. But I never had to worry about anything drying out or any of that kind of stuff. Anyways, the point is I'm gonna do a cooking video, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it in the oven to avoid all that cleanup, or if I'm gonna go ahead and drag my pellet grill out here and do a pellet grill. You know, tell me in the comments if you're interested in watching. Now, if I do it in the oven, I haven't done that in years, but ribs are pretty simple. I mean, it pulls away from the bone. You know, you want it to get 208 to 210. You know, they're done. Let them rest. They're done. But it gets tricky when you're trying to do like a butter bath, and I typically always would do dry rubs. I love a dry rub rib, but I started doing the whole butter bath, which is nice, The problem I was having is it's like I get 2 hours of smoke, and then by the time I do a butter bath, I do about a 45-minute butter bath, and then I take it out, you know, I put a little more seasoning on it, some brown sugar or what have you, throw it back in, try to get all that stuff kind of tacked back up because it got real wet. And what would happen is in the butter bath, it would either get too moist and it start falling apart, which I don't like, and I need a sharp knife. I need to sharpen my knife. I have good knives, but I have to sharpen it. And that whetstone I bought, I'm not very good at sharpening a knife with a whetstone. I need to buy one of those cheap sharpeners that just go like that, and your job is just to keep it straight, and it goes down like at a 45-degree angle, and it sharpens it easy. That whetstone's messy, and it's a pain in the ass, and it takes... You can get those little stoppers you put on there that angle it perfectly for you. I need to either get that or just buy another sharpener. Anyways, last time I sharpened my knife, I didn't do a very good job, and it needs to be sharpened. But I lost track of whatever I was saying. I guess I was just saying, I don't know if, I think I may just do a dry rub through and through and just spritz as needed and make it super simple on me. And anyways, just FYI. That's what I used to like about the charcoal grill. Okay, I could push my coal bits to one side. I'll be honest, I like the charcoal flavor too. I like it better than... A stick burner is a stick burner. Charcoal's charcoal. This new convenient pellet smoker stuff, I'm sorry, it's just, it has its place. It does work. It does impart a smoke-like flavor. It is not the same kind of smoke flavor. The burn point and the way the bark works with the density of the actual wood chunks and the burning points of all that stuff, and you got dirty smoke and clean smoke mixing with the food, and knowing how to control all that and regulate it, you have full control of what type of smoke flavor you're imparting to your meat. You do not get that with pellets. I'm sorry. Maybe at some point they'll come out with a way, but it's typically super clean. It comes out super clean. It's so clean, it's too clean. And the smoke, you know, I don't know. I just, I loved back in the day, I could get shit-faced hammered drunk, push my coals to one side, throw my baby backs on there. I knew how much, I love mesquite wood. Not a huge hickory fan. I love mesquite. You don't want to ever go too long with mesquite because you can over smoke your food and it'll get bitter. You get you a little smoke ring penetration, you're good to go. And I never had to worry about spritzing it or it drying up or any of that stuff. So it's kind of, I think when I get back in my own place, I'm just going to buy one of those Weber grill. My brother's got like that Weber Professional. And it's got the pot in the bottom. It just unscrews and all the coals are there. All the ash is there and you dump it out. Boom, you're done. The whole concept of me doing this was it's convenient. It's not really that, I mean, it's, for my needs, I think I would go back to charcoal, just being honest. So I'll say it again, because I'm running my damn mouth and my cadence on this is very slow. It has reduced a lot of that rancid nastiness because it starts out really nice and it's not handling the heat very well. It starts to meld and change the flavor, and it becomes rancid. And I think it's doing that because it needs to age more. It needs to age more. I could try to dry it out more. That might help. It wasn't super wet or anything. I mean, it was ready to go, but I think it just needs more age. But seldom will I be okay loading a pipe knowing that in order to avoid the rancidness of it, I have to really, really turn down my cadence. I mean, you see how often I'm taking a draw here. That's not going to work for my needs. Anywho, that is the Peterson Deluxe Navy Roll review. And like I said, on the tobaccos that I did not like that I can remember, I'm going to make a quick short video, hopefully into the weekend, just getting that out there. The ones, some other ones I've smoked, I don't want to go through a whole review on it. Just the ones that I remember what I didn't like about it. I'm going to make a quick video, go over those 2 or 3 tobaccos, just get it on the record about what I didn't like about them. Anyways, you all have a wonderful weekend, evening, weekend, and the whole bit. God bless. And you know, I should see you Saturday or Sunday with the cook video. I should. If for whatever reason I decide, you know, if you really want to see me do it in the pellet grill, if you're interested, just leave it in the comments, because there's a real good chance I may just do that in the oven. Maybe you want me to do it in the oven because you don't have a pellet grill. Either way, just keep in mind, because my pellet grill is a small Traeger Ranger, it's a tailgater. You can't set your temperatures to my temperatures and think it's going to cook the same. It will not work that way. My tailgater cooks hotter than a full-size regular, pellet grill. So my 250 is probably like your 350 or 375 or something to that effect. So just keep that in mind. You get my point. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna drink my wild turkey and enjoy my night.